So it's 10-20, button opens to 50, and he looks like a pro.
And how deep are
My
you
first or
guys?
second orbit. We're about 4K effective, so
All
not
right.
nearly as deep in this one.
All right. So 4K effective. Button opens to 50. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I defend the big blind with 6-4 of spades.
All right. So hero calls 6-4 spades. Okay. So the pot's like 110, right?
Yeah, and obviously there's no rake and it's a time game. And the flop is queen of spades, 5 of hearts, 5 of diamonds.
Queen of spades, 5 of hearts, 5 of diamonds. So you get 6-4 spades. So you wrap around like the 5, right?
Yeah, so I've got the old 3 straight, 3 flush,
Yeah.
sort of backdoors, everything. And I check. He bets $30,
Okay.
and I'm check raised to 100.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this play before. I mean, this is one of the ones, right? I mean, now you're not super deep, but this is one of the ones where if you think somebody's like, oh, just over c betting, right? You want to find like some.
That's exactly what I thought. I think a
Yeah.
lot of people just sort of kind of auto c bet here. I was actually just talking to Brian A about this exact hand because they did a top section podcast about paired boards, and I think a lot of people, one, over c bet, and two, really struggle to defend versus a check raise, because you have to check raise with some very uncomfortable backdoor king high type hands.
3 to a straight flush here. You want to find the back doors, right? You want to find your back doors is basically, the whole thing with this hand is you want to find your back doors. Okay, so you make it 100. Okay.
And he calls fairly quickly.
All right. So, wow, he calls fairly quickly. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
I'd say 10, 15 seconds.
There's no front door out there. So this has got, I don't know if someone's bet calling 9s, 10, something like that, but it could be. Obviously it could be.
Yeah, I plugged this one into a solver, and he's supposed to defend extremely wide. I had a mistake in my thinking in the time, which is I thought he was probably supposed to 3-bet quite a lot, because I'm check raising a very merged range here. Like, I'm check raising a lot of queen X for just like value, some smaller pairs, just a lot of hands, because I think he's over c betting, and when he's range betting, I want to kind of get a little protection and some value with a fairly merged, weaker range. And I thought he was probably supposed to be 3-betting the flop, and I thought he wouldn't be, but it turns out that was just completely wrong by me, and that he's just really just supposed to mostly call and almost never 3-bet the flop.
All right, so he calls, pot's 210.
Yeah, pot's 310. The turn is the 2 of spades.
Oh, excuse me, is it 310? I'm sorry, yeah. Turn is the what?
The 2 of spades.
All right, so you pick up the flush draw and straight draw here to the 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is the time to polarize. I'd be interested if you agree. It's because I got a lot of queen X and stuff that I could just check. So I choose an overbet sizing on the turn. I bet 420 here.
Well, that's, yeah. I will readily admit I have no idea what the optimal sort of, it's so hard even I think it would be. I guess maybe it's not that hard to sim this spot, but I don't know whether you're trying to approach playing optimal or what, but it is an interesting thing. I'll throw it. So you overbet. So hero bets 420, and the line here, or the reasoning would be that if he does have to defend a lot on the flop, now he can pretty much only defend now to this sizing with queen X. One of the very, very uncommon line that I actually see here that really would add a shit ton of fold equity is, have you ever double check raised in a spot like this?
I completely agree.
Where you have some give ups.
Yeah, it gets a supreme number of folds. It backfires slightly sometimes when they check back the turn. But yeah, I do like that as a line. I just decided to in live poker, I almost never assume someone's going to bet for me. Right. And therefore, I like to put the chips in myself.
No, and also too, for value too, from out of position, you have to take some weird lines where you would otherwise think, oh my God, you made your draw, and you have to lead from out of position, right? It's just, or you lead turn because it's gonna get checked back, So you bet 420.
Exactly.
You bet 420.
And he tanks for about 45 seconds, and then he calls.
Okay, so now we would think that he has at least a queen here. By the way, the queen of spades is out there, so it's queen of spades, 5 of hearts, 5 of diamonds, deuce of spades. So the guy can't have queen X of spades here, right?
Right. He can't have queen X of spades. He's just got a lot of just regular queen X hands. Obviously, he's supposed to, I'm just looking at him, he's supposed to be calling with like pocket nines versus this overbet on turn,
Really?
like at a
To
very
your
high frequency.
420? Wow, that would.
I know, it surprised me too, which makes me think that the river play that I make is actually not very good. Is that he's forced to
Yeah, but
defend with some
is he
pairs.
finding those calls though? Is he really
No, that's
finding
why I
those
think he's
calls?
not, which makes my choice on the river a lot worse, right? Like if I'm trying to think through the hand street by street, if he overfolds the turn, then bluffing the river becomes a lot worse because his range is just a lot stronger that gets to the river.
Yeah. All right, so 1150. Okay.
Yeah, and he calls obviously, and then the river is the four of hearts.
So you make a pair, which obviously is not going to be.
I make
Yeah,
a pair of fours,
which is not going to be good here.
I don't think
Yeah.
think I'm good here.
Yeah.
And really wanted to jam all in for 3x pot. Like I thought I thought in theory that would be the play to make, like representing basically the straights and boats. You know, like I do a nice job blocking 5-4, and I can obviously have ace-3, for example, here, particularly of spades, and obviously some boats on the flop. You know, the queen-5 and things like that, or even 5-deuce suited potentially.
So what did you do?
I didn't. I ended up betting just like about 75% pot, because I thought if I jammed all in, he's supposed to fold a 5 sometimes, and people don't do those things in live poker. I bet 850 on the river.
It's funny that you said like if you jam all in, he's supposed to fold the 5, but people don't do that in live poker. But then the previous hand, you wanted to get the guy to fold the flush.
I like I said, I haven't ironed out all the thinking in live poker yet. But
so you bet 850. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he tanked for what felt like 4 lifetimes, and then eventually folded. And I was very unsure on the river, and I looked in the solver with some node blocking, and it just looks like I lose money if he doesn't, like, he has to fold a lot on the river for this to be a good play. And
I just wonder what he fold. I mean, I wonder what he folds. Like, he's never going to fold.
I mean,
you think he folds a queen? You think he gets there and then folds a queen? What is the run out change? He's just like giving you like, oh, the thing's changing because you're continuing to
just
bet.
Giving me a 5, I guess. I think he's just like he's being convinced that I have 5x or better at that point. Perhaps I'm not absolutely sure. I mean, like I said, he took an absolute age. I mean, it's possible he was tanking there with pocket 7s, you know. I don't get to see, unlike on Ignition, so I'm not sure. But I think what I realized from the hand was just I've got to stop. I've got to stop trying to make people fall.
Stop making fancy plays. Gethin,
yeah,
I appreciate the call. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel, and check out the coupon code in the description to try out the Crush Live Poker training site for free.